All right, so we're looking at our Chapter 3 practice test. We're going to start with number 1 down here, which is talking about a recursive rule, and specifically talking about how to enter in recursive rules into a calculator. It's going to be handy to have your TI-84 calculator open. You should have that available on your Chromebook. And what we're going to do is test out these different options for so that we can find how to get this sequence. So let's look at this sequence really quick. We've got 1, then 1/4, then 1/16, then 1/64. You might be able to see a pattern already. Let's look at this a different way. So we have 1, which is equal to 1/1, and then 1/4, and then 1/16, 1/64. So if we just look at the denominators, if I multiply 1 by 4, I'd get 4. And then if I multiplied 4 by 4, I'd get 16. 16 times 4 gives me 64. So there's definitely a pattern there where I am multiplying by a number to get to the next term. You can remember when we multiply numbers to get to the next term, that's called a geometric sequence rather than an arithmetic sequence. So if I look in my answers, my possible answers, there's 2 that use a plus symbol that are using addition to get from the starting point to the next term. So I definitely know it's not these addition ones. It's going to be something else. Okay, and remember, in a recursive rule, we have a starting point and then a rule. So, like I kind of mentioned before, this first piece, the number and then the enter, that's going to be our starting point. That's going to be the starting point. And then this piece tells us to multiply by something or add something. That's going to be our rule. So again, this first piece is our starting point, and then this piece is our rule. So, like I mentioned, we're definitely not adding, we're multiplying here. So B and C are out. Now let's think about what was our starting point here? It was 1. It was 1. So it definitely can't be D either, because this starting point is 1/4. So I'm going to guess that it's A, but what I'm going to do to double check is I am going to enter it into my calculator, just as it says right here. So I hit 1 and then enter, and then I do answer times 1/4. So I can do second answer times 1/4. It gives me 0.25. And then I hit enter again, and then enter again. Aha. So it gives me all the answers in decimal form. So I'm just going to write those down just so I don't forget. 1.25, 0.625, and 0.156. Whoops, forgot a 0. Forgot a couple zeros. 0, and then 0.015625. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through this sequence, the given sequence, and I'm going to find the decimal versions of each of these numbers. So 1 is obviously 1. 1/4 is 0.25. 1/16 gives me 0.0625. And then 1/64 gives me 0.015625. So I know that this recursive rule will generate this sequence.